The Lost Cryptids Conservatory, where we will shatter your reality to bring you closer to the truth.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Had some things pop up on the phone as we were starting the show that I had to take care of real quick. But we are all ready to go, and I think we have a pretty good program. So I'm excited. Hopefully everyone's doing good. See everyone chatting away in chat so far, and yeah. So I was watching Central Florida Bigfoot's Pareidolia special, which is pretty cool, and watching a little bit of the after show. Of course, I had to get the kids to bed and get this all set up and ready to go. So I wasn't really hanging around in chat, but very good, knowledgeable stuff on the show. And then, of course, the aftermath seems to be jam-packed with knowledgeable people. So if you're tuning in this, make sure to check out that show afterwards and vice versa. All right, so I got the computer all set up, ready to go, and it should be operating the way I want it to, so we won't have any issues outside of interference, and hopefully a lot better for you guys in the end. That's what it's all about. So we're going to go through some unchecked audio that we got back a couple months back in summer, and I couldn't get it off of the recorder for a while, and I made mention of a couple times, but finally got it to upload, and so now we're gonna just check this out and go over it, see what's on it. Maybe nothing's on it, maybe something's on it. Who knows? But we'll go over it, quick scan and stuff, and kind of very fast go over things and try to spot everything and see what we can find. Hopefully something good. So it'll be pretty interesting. So everyone in chat: Sandra Piper, Brown Dwarf, Nomad, Michael Haywood, and Ramiel Acosta, Filipino survivalist. Apologize if I pronounced that wrong. It's been a while. It's nice to see you again. Prairie Fire. Glad to see you guys in chat. So I guess we'll pretty much get started right down to it. So let me jump.
All right, let's see if can everyone hear me? Sounds like it can. Let me figure out this for a quick. All right, so let me know if there's an echo going on. If not, then. All right, so can everyone hear me okay through this mic? Is there any echo going on? Can you guys uh, hear everything? All right, yeah, I might have to speak a little louder with this one. But just let me know. I can adjust the volume. Let me know if there's any echo going on, because it might bounce off the phone. Um, okay, give me a second. All right, I apologize for a little bit. Sorry. Let's see. Let me adjust this mic volume so you guys can hear me. I'm not sure why we had the interference when I jumped back onto my phone when the other me was out. But we'll get this rolling one way or another. So just be patient. All right, so sounds like you guys can hear me. Is there any echo going on? I don't think there is, so we can get this rolling then. Let me know if the audio is still low for you guys. Let me know if there's any echo. It would really help before we get started, because it's going to distort all the audio and everything. I just want to make sure that this plays loud enough for you guys. All right. No echo. Sounds like you can hear me good, and it's working through this. And so let's do the final test to make sure that you guys can hear this. Let me so as you can see, this is all the sound blips and stuff, and all the major stuff that we are going to be able to hear. Now I listened to this big chunk right here, and it's a bunch of rustling, and it sounds like distortion and stuff, so it's going to sound all crazy. But so we don't have to listen to that. But I did not go through and listen to anything of this and of the others that we have lined up for this night. But let me play a little section to see if you guys can hear it. On the major hits, if you guys can't hear it, I can always boost it up and stuff too. So and let me see, zoom out a little bit. Way too zoomed. Let me know if this is like too loud or something. I'm gonna play this distortion. If it's way too crazy loud, or if you guys can't barely hear it, then let me know.
Sunday, June 12th at 12:20 a.m.
Oh, I apologize. This other distortion was this other audio I was working on. It's not this one. Alright, so let me know if you guys can hear this perfectly fine. What's the volume on it?
Alright, it is Sunday, June 12th at 12:20 a.m.
Alright, good. That's good. So we're not going to listen to all this. Obviously, it would take way too long. It'd be super boring for you guys. But what we are going to do is look at the spectrogram. You can also look at this wavelength. It looks way different. And to me, the spectrogram is a lot easier to see fainter things in the background and different things. Alright, so I'm so glad this is finally working out for you guys. I've been trying to do this for the longest time, and StreamYard, for whatever reason, won't let me do it, but we beat the system, and so we're doing it this way. So basically, we're going to go and move forward and look at, obviously, you know, how I speak and stuff. This is all going to look differently depending on what type of sounds. I need to zoom in just a little bit more. So we should do about that. We can do a little bit more. So we do every individual second. And you can see the different wavelengths of actual sound waves and of my voice and of me speaking and stuff. So I can't. So I gotta scroll over here. So let me put this on there so I can see behind it. And we're going to basically slowly zoom out, but we're going to scroll forward, and any blips and sounds we're going to hit on. So as you can see, like this sound right here, this what this looks like. This could be rustling or something. So that was a cough. You can obviously hear that was a cough. And so when you put these recorders out, you want to make sure, you know, do the time and stuff, and always understand that, you know, you're still in the area making sounds. So, but you know, the recorder's pretty good. You know, you're picking up a little coughs. This stuff's not the best. We don't have the best recorders, but they're pretty good. So we'll take a listen to this. Already, I think it's gonna be wind. This is the lower range of frequency right here. You hear that humming, extra humming. That's actually a car, I believe. We'll skip forward. This will be another probably car. So if you guys can hear that, yeah, definitely a car. And that's just an example. Most of the time when it's like this low, steady stream like that, it's usually wind or cars in this case. You might not be able to hear some of this because this is not that loud right now compared to like some of the other stuff, like the talking we just seen. But we can see right here this sliver that goes down right here. That's going to be like a little ticker, a little fast, very soft sounding. Probably nothing but like a bug or something landing. It's not loud. Actually sounds like a small little critter or something. I'll play it really fast again, but we're going to keep moving forward because this is very, very faint sounding stuff. Like that, just little. And if you have a hard time hearing it, you'll look at this meter and it will pop up in correlation with this spike. And depending on how soft and how loud, this will jump up pretty significant. So let's just move on from that because I don't want to waste time on kind of small stuff. But we do want to check and look at everything. So right here, you see this line on the left, how very faint that is very soft sound. And we'll show hopefully louder sounds that you can clearly see a difference. So this is very soft sound. This is stuff that could be in the very, very background. This could be like bugs. This could be light leaves blowing and stuff like that. I've learned this the hard way in other audios and stuff. So it's, you know, barely audible and stuff. It's just little taps and stuff. And so when I first go over audio, some of this stuff I do try to check, but after a while, if it still sounds like the same stuff, I kind of generally move on to other things that might look, and then go back. You see how like these ones are compared, and then this one right here is a little bit heavier. It's going to be a little louder. So you can definitely see this meter bar jump up when it taps, and it's just a very light tap. It's probably a bug or nothing. And so, you know, we'll move over to right here. Now I think this is probably heavy wind, or we'll check it out. Couple taps in here. Small one right here, just very little registered and stuff, but you just can see that even on the spectrogram, it will pick it up compared to like on this other waveform. The waveform shows these little dots and stuff, but it won't really register like what these are. And so that's why a spectrogram, you can catch and see these little lines a little bit more, these faint little sounds. So you can actually see stuff in the background, or very faint stuff that, you know, is barely even registered. And these are the, you know, the high frequencies, low frequencies. Like 30 and below would be infrasound and stuff. So I could make it go lower and stuff, but the graph and stuff would be incredibly hard to read and stuff, and we're not doing that right now. So we'll hurry up and do this, and we're going to move on. So you'll see, as you know, it sounds like the wind will probably pick up here. And we'll stop it right there so you guys don't blow your eardrums out. But as you can see, it just carries on through a range of frequencies and blots everything out. So you can, you know, already kind of tell, okay, so that's what kind of wind looks like. And then we have this loud tap right here and some other things, but it is windy. Just coming off a breeze. Now even that's pretty soft. That's not loud at all, and that could be, again, a bug or something small around the recorder, or something that fell off a tree and stuff. It's not, just because it's super bright like that doesn't mean it's actually super loud. You can see the meter jumps up and picks it up pretty good. But it's something to check. Now here's something right here, it looks like. See this meter trying to pick it up. Sounds like a car. Definitely a car. And I don't know if you guys are able to hear that stuff, but it definitely is a car going by. You hear it accelerating. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we look for. You know, this kind of looks like something could be a little different than wind. It's in the background. It's not super loud. So here we got these little clicks, these little ticks. Nothing too big. Probably just stuff falling. You see the meter. If you haven't had time, you can look at the meter. The meter will jump up. And then it'll register the highest level reading so far. So, kicked it up. So pretty much, you know, we kind of know, like, this little stuff right here's Mostly nothing. So for the sake of the show and for you guys, I just want to skip forward, see if there's, because there was some major stuff on there, and I don't want to get bogged down with time looking at every little small thing that's, you know, we have to check because it could be something, but at the same time, it's nothing major. So we're just scanning forward, trying to find anything that looks odd. There's some barely colored right here. You can tell this color. If you look at this line the whole way through, you see the changes of color. Barely, it's barely light right there. We'll probably play this. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. So that sounds like another car. I have headphones on too that can boost the volume additionally. So when you go through this, it's always recommended to have those headphones so you can boost the volume even more. Alright, so here we got something. It's a little finicky. Alright, so here we got something right here. It could be something, could be nothing. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. My girlfriend just got home and of course had to greet her and alright, so let's switch this around. Alright. So that's if you guys could hear that, it sounds like a little fluttering of some sort. Or it sounds like something dragging itself. It's probably a little rodent. And if we actually listen to this whole clip, it probably sounds like a rodent through here. Not really sure what that is, actually. It sounds like rubbing or something. It could be anything. Could be a tree rubbing. Could be something to take further interest in, I guess. I'll split that clip. Probably send it to a few people. It's not super loud or anything, but it's pretty low in frequency. So I wonder to see how about that. But That's inconclusive. It just sounds like rubbing or from other audio recorders. I've recorded like mice or something going up to recorder and they're like scratching it, and sometimes bird makes like fluttering sounds with their flat feathers, and that kind of reminds me of that actually. So and this might be a little boring stuff, but I mean, this is how it is when you go through audio and stuff, and you visually want to go look at it, and you don't want to listen to all of it. I mean, you can listen to all these little spikes and stuff if you really wanted to be very diligent and stuff, um, or just skip and try to find all the major stuff. Usually, the way I do it and what we do is try to find the major stuff, go back, listen to, or in one sit down, listen to every single little small and big thing we would register, and then listen to the whole recording to pick up anything that we didn't hear. So let's see what this is, and I mean that's just kind of how it is. This is probably going to be a wind. Or a car. And so that's a car right there, but here's a little something dot. So this dot is definitely not a car, it's something else. And that's how it is. It can be boring. You basically are spending hours and hours and hours scrolling, looking, checking, trying to verify, and then you find something and it's like, well, what it is. And if it doesn't sound good or inconclusive, it's just inconclusive. It could be a thousand things. We're experiencing some wind out here at some times. There's bugs out and stuff. Being what is that, June? So there's a lot of things that be all these little tickings and stuff that you have to understand. It's not like it's a Bigfoot tapping next to the recorder, right? This is all natural stuff that you have to learn and understand. It's like, okay, so what am I hearing out there? I can see it on here, but what is it? And the more you practice, the more you can pick up on things. But so let's check out this. This could be something interesting. You notice how it's round right here, and it's not a full line like these taps were, and it's not being carried for a long time and stuff, but it's something. So it sounds like a bird. If you guys are having a hard time hearing that, I can always boost it. I know some of you guys said it was good. Some of you guys said you guys might need to adjust it and hear it. So I'll boost it for a little bit, see if you guys, if that helps. Since this is something major, not this little taps, this is just a little bird, but we can amplify it. And usually I just bump it up to 6.2, 6.5, something like that. And I apologize if this is going to be way too loud for you guys, but I'm just going to play around with it. So I should probably go back to the other one and adjust the volume. But as you can clearly tell, that was just a bird. It's probably another tap, nothing. Just a little tap, probably most likely bugs flying around, landing on any hard surfaces and stuff like that. Give me a second. All right. But that's the one thing. If you really want to get into the audio game, you're leaving it for and this is only an hour and a half clip and stuff that we're trying to zoom through and explain. I had 4 of these lined up and stuff, just for one recording and stuff. So it was like they're an hour and a half each times 4, so they're like 7 hours. I have 11 hours, 12 hours. Here's some stuff right here that's a little different. See how it's a little wider? It's not that line, but it's still soft. I have 24 hours of audio and stuff that I've spent hours and hours listening to just birds in the mornings, making bird calls and all that, just to check to see if there's actually any Bigfoot stuff. And when you're looking on here in the spectrogram, it's like, man, I really don't want to check every little thingy on here, but if you really want to make sure that there's nothing truly on here that might be interesting, you got to check every little single dot, every little big thing. So we're going to check this one right here. It's going to be soft, but it could be something. So to me, it sounds like there's a rodent right next to the recorder. And I'll boost that to see if you guys can hear that. Alright, so that's too low for to be boosted and for you guys to hear. So we're just gonna move on, but from what I heard, it's probably it's a mouse or something, or a bug. Nothing significant to really pay attention to. This is a little bit better, but still. Now, if this was winter and it wasn't snowing and we had all these little taps and stuff, maybe that would be interesting. Trying to figure out what that was, because obviously there's no bugs around. There's no leaves or things like that in the trees or things that could fall. And this was never before seen, never before checked out stuff. And, so far, it's nothing. But you got to remember, this is going to be an hour and a half out of 7 hours. So here we got something pretty significant. Looks like something. As you can tell, seeing a bunch of little lines right here, that means that each one is not very long duration sounds and stuff, so it's a bunch of little taps like we've been seeing, except for they're pretty loud and in sequence. So let's take a look at this. So I would guess that's a rodent or something messing with the recorder. Obviously, you can hear it messing with the recorder. It sounds small and stuff. If we keep listening to it, um, there's some indicators that that we're going to try to look for small rodents are very small, grabbing of the thing, whiskers, sniffing sounds, sometimes squeaks. Birds sometimes their feathers make certain noises. They flutter. They'll peck. All right, so let's listen to this. Like that kind of stuff, like that. That kind of reminds me of a mouse and stuff. So this is. So I don't know if you guys heard it, but there was a little slight squeak in there actually, and which would lead me to be a rodent of some sort. And again, if you have headphones, they can adjust the volume and that are like low end boosted and stuff like that. It's gonna help a lot more because you can, or especially if there's like a built-in like equalizer and stuff like that, some really good ones. You will be able to hear a lot better and actually hear background and more in depth and go um, and have a better range to be able to hear stuff. So you don't hear walking up or walking away and stuff, but those taps and stuff that we heard slightly earlier, just a couple seconds or a minute or two earlier, was probably the rodent around the recorder. So that was one of the major things that we've seen on the waveform, which I'll show real quick, and then we'll move on and stuff. But this is how it is. This is kind of how I spend some of my evenings, some of my time that I have when I'm not in the woods and stuff. Is going through the data, and it literally is hours and hours and hours and hours of work. Not only just to go scan through everything, to listen through everything, but I literally will push play and listen to all of this and try to work on something else or read or something else and try to listen to every single thing in the background that would potentially not even get picked up on the spectrogram or anything that I might be able to hear on here, um, just to triple check really. And then sometimes I'll send it over to James or Tyler, and I have to have them check and stuff because I know they run different software and stuff too. So of course I can't see, but I'll change it real quick so you can see multi-view. So you can see right here. So like right here, we've just been listening to nothing, nothing. Slight little taps, and of course that's when he goes all bazonkers. So sometimes I'll go and look at things like this for major things, but this gets more behind the scenes stuff a little bit. So we're gonna keep moving on. So I mean, this is some behind the scenes stuff with that we do at Lost Cryptids, and what real researchers will actually be doing. No one taught me how to do any stuff. Everything I do is self-taught pretty much. I might be able to listen and learn from other people, but no one's actually taught to do any of this kind of research. Or to at least, a real researcher will actually go out and want to learn new skills. And oh well, I don't know what to do with audio. Well, you better start learning this stuff. Well, I've never used a spectrogram. Well, just put something up, start learning, and start reading on it, start googling stuff, start listening to what other people use and stuff. Yes, exactly right. Sounds like a small creed. I would say a rodent stuff. If you could hear that squeak, I certainly heard what I thought was a squeak in there. So, if you're not proficient at stuff, what's good of you getting all these recordings if you don't know what to do with them, because you literally have, and I mean I guilty of it too. It goes on the back burner sometimes because there's a lot of data to go through, and it's like when you rack up like 50, 75 hours worth of audio, pretty fast in like a week or two. That's a lot to go through, especially if you want to literally listen to all of it. Like I try to do sometimes, which can be kind of hard. Especially since you keep getting more data to add to the pile to if you really want to spend, 24 hours listening to a whole recorder and stuff. Yeah, it could take a long time. But so the spectrogram stuff and analyzing like that can speed up the process of finding major stuff, but it could still potentially miss things that you might not be proficient in. Some of these dots and stuff that are very faint, lightly colored, that are not within the background and stuff. Sometimes you might miss it, but you might hear it if with the bass boost and all that. But and you can use different software that you can pay for stuff that is going to be way better than this. I can go in way more in depth and stuff, and I'll run all sorts of things. So this is most likely going to be wind. I don't want to like bust your guys' eardrums out. Obviously, we kind of are understanding it's like wind and stuff. There's like a tap in there. There's some taps right there. But this is probably, the rodent could be still close by. This tapping could be bugs, stuff like that. There's this little tapping and stuff. You can see it jump on the meter. It is registering it, but it's really nothing. So keep on going, trying to find something better. And that's just how it is. But I was watching Central Florida Bigfoot show earlier, and he was doing a really good job on the pareidolia aspect and how. Oh, here's something. Right here. See how faint? And right here too. There's a little dot right here on the very low end of the spectrum, and right here is something. Even though it almost looks like nothing, it's different from these little taps that we've been getting. Like right here, this line is a tap. This kind of looks different to me. Let's try to listen to this one. It's going to be on the low end, so it's going to be hard for us to hear. Wow, okay. There is actually something there. Wow, okay, so that's exciting for a second. Let's look at this one. Okay, so let's listen to this one a couple times, then I'll boost it for you guys. That sounds so weird. If you guys can hear that, let me know. If you guys are having trouble, I will boost it. That is a weird sound. So is this other thing, and it actually sounds interesting. But so does this. That. That could be a coyote. We're gonna keep playing. But if it's blowing your guys' eardrums out, please let me know. If you guys, are having trouble, blah, something like that. Because I don't know if you guys hear it. I can hear it. I can always adjust it on my end, so I'm hearing it no problem. And it is something that is a vocal. So I'll play it a couple times. Yeah, there's some type of vocal, but it's that's. I really don't know what that is. It could be a canine, or it could be something else. Can you guys hear that one? I'm about to play this one and boost this one. Alright, if you guys are not hearing that, I'm telling you right now, there's definitely something there. This sounds like this sounds like someone blowing in a jug going like that sound you make when you blow into a jug top. Oh, oh, that's what this sounds like. It is so. It's so low. It's definitely there. This is one that's going to be hard for you guys to, for me to pick up, or to be able to pick up and actually show and convince other people and stuff. This one would be pretty hard to pick up. It is on the very low end of the spectrum. Um, it definitely sounds like someone's blowing through a jug top, is what I am hearing. Hopefully you guys can hear it. This might get a little loud. The problem with the amplifying stuff is it could just all mix it together and make it bleh. All right, yeah, I heard it. So I'll try to keep replaying it. There's definitely something there. If you guys are having trouble, you know, I apologize. There's not much I can really do about that. Um, these boosting headphones and stuff, they work awesome. You can see it. It's just a very little dot. It's right above the cursor. You can see that it's slightly brighter than everything else. It is very hard to see. It might be very hard for some of you guys to be like, it looks like something else. But uh, maybe, hopefully, some of you guys out there are hearing the same thing. It literally sounds like someone's blowing through a jug going, boom. And it's some type of low frequency going on. I might be able to adjust and see how low, but that is definitely sub 100 hertz. I'm gonna probably be sending this to a couple people, and hopefully they can hear it. Hopefully they, understand where, what I'm hearing. Could be nothing. Could be, but it's definitely not what we've been hearing, and this is why you check every single faint little dot on here, because yeah, even though all these other little dots like this one right here, this line, are these taps, this right here might look insignificant. So far I think it's very interesting. And so you have this vocal right here too. But this interests me more because the way it sounds produced, it sounds like that blowing through a top of a jug. That type of sound doesn't really scream deer, doesn't scream bird, doesn't scream raccoon, doesn't scream that mouse, It's not a very normal audible sound that I would recognize. The worst thing about it, though, is just it's not loud, but it's very interesting. And it's something there. And it's just the problem with it is it's so in the background, it's so low. It's just really hard. It's going to be really hard to work with. To make it work with where you guys can be like, oh yeah, I 100% easily hear that, no problem. People are going to be like, I don't hear nothing. I don't hear it. And I understand. I really do, because it is really hard to hear. There's definitely something there. I would say, man, this sounds like a bird coughing right here. That's what this sounds like. Let me adjust it. It sounds like a bird coughing. And I have no idea. So, not saying it's Sasquatch at all. I'm not saying that at all. It's just a little weird, and it's just not loud enough either. Unfortunately, um, but it is there. There is something actually there, which is kind of surprising. Considering I almost skipped it, but if you notice that this stuff right here, this little dot frequency stuff looks a little slightly different than these taps that we've been getting, and you have to have kind of a keen eye to, and you want to make sure you check every single thing. Even though I almost would have probably skipped it because I don't want to be looking at every little dot with you guys. It looks slightly different that I wanted to check it, right? And to me, it is definitely 100% different than these dots, these sounds. Obviously, we've been hearing. Is it significant to say Sasquatch? No. Are they kind of interesting sounds that I kind of want to know what they are? Yeah, because I want to be able to eliminate that from next time. If I hear sounds that I hear again, then I know that they're most likely not Sasquatch sounds, stuff like that. I want to be able to eliminate things that I hear. So I can already tell. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm like stopping you guys already, but like within playing that like that fast, I can. That's a car. I mean, car. And maybe you guys are having trouble. I know one person said the sound was good on his end, so I was kind of going off of what he said. Um, I'll adjust the volume just so you guys can know that you can instantly tell things like it's a car, it's something like that. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna even bother. It's just a car. So here's another small purple dot, but it's probably off the car still. It's nothing, most likely. So nothing. And you can see how long that's already been just to scroll and kind of look through and listen to stuff. It's not like it's super easy, super fast. You can just zip on through. You can look for the major big stuff and only look at stuff, but you'll miss the little things that are picking up. Which this sounds like those clicks, taps. This could be a wind, most likely another car. Car. You can hear it right here. This sound right here is actually the engine revving up slightly. It's not like it's doing a burnout or anything, but you can tell. And this is probably the car that's closer. This is going to be the sound of the engine. Hear and accelerate. And so, off the bat, you guys can pretty much get used to it. It's always good to check. We got a little bit more. And that's wind. I don't want to just, blow your guys' eardrums and stuff. And this might be boring to you guys, but this is behind the scene look. This is actual research that you could spend hours and hours and hours and hours going through nitpicking. And this is what I do. Because who else is going to do it? Who am I going to ask someone else, hey, can you please look at all my stuff that I got for me and do all the work for me? No. How would I get proficient at picking up stuff and saying it's Sasquatch and stuff if I didn't know to look through and spend hours and trying to figure out what that sounds make, what bird sounds make. I have coyote sounds and stuff I should show you guys. We can look through all the different wavelengths that they look like, all the different sounds that we've picked up. And we've picked up some interesting sounds that I think people would be like, oh yeah, that's a Sasquatch. But there's coyotes going on at the same time. It's clearly coyotes and stuff. We actually have some, I think we have it recorded, but we've experienced stuff where there's a coyote pack over here, and then what sounds like a Sasquatch in a tree line that responded to some of our calls and stuff. I believe we have that somewhere. The problem with the audio stuff that I am starting to do is labeling. I didn't label a lot of the stuff, so it's all numbers and stuff, as you see the title. And then when I go through and I find things, then I usually label things. Sounds like that little rodents by walking around, or something else. You know, it could be a bug flying around hitting stuff. But I mean, seriously, if I don't go and spend hours looking through all this, who will? Am I really gonna just go ask another man to do my work for me right here? Kind of ask you guys just to go do it, for me, and expect you guys know what to do, and then rely upon what you guys think is good and what's not good, or if you can spot things, any if you can't. And this is the kind of stuff that when we do catch stuff, you can show people the spectrogram stuff. If you want to, look at the different ranges and stuff. I could scale this down, scale this up. We can look at stuff a little bit better for people who know a lot to do. I mean, I'm not proficient with audio. I'm not professional at all. I just kind of know what to do and look for, and maybe send it to other people who are above what I know, and what they can figure out to do with the sounds or whatever. So, but I should at least be kind of proficient to know what I'm doing, so I can't just what's the point? What's the point of getting audio if you don't even know what to do, really? And the way to learn is to, look up stuff on Google. You can watch videos, look at other researchers, look at more professional like audio works. If you're using a software program, learn how to use the program. Learn how to run it, use everything, tips and tricks, stuff like that. So we'll listen to some of this stuff. Is that more of that car? It's a pretty nice tap. It sounds like a bird peck, honestly. It's a louder peck. It actually sounds like it's on wood. I would not say that's a knock at all. If you guys are having trouble, let me know. I'll try to boost it for you guys. Sounds like a peck. And the only reason why I think it sounds like a peck because I've been listening to a lot of woodpeckers today, and they tap 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 tap, and that's what it looks like on the spectrogram, and that's what it sounds like. So this one so far, mostly a bust. Besides those, 2 or 3 little things, which they're not very loud. They're really not really significant. The one low end sounds like someone's blowing on a jug top without the top on. That sounds very interesting. That maybe could be something to look into and to send to other people. The problem is it's just gonna be hard for them to work with, but that's the name of the game. Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna set this out there. I'm guaranteed to get stuff. I'm literally showing you. It's like it's hit or miss. It's like either it works or it doesn't work. just more car stuff. I figured that's what it was, but it looks slightly different. So we're gonna keep going. I mean, that's just, yeah. Oh, here we got something right here. We got something right here too. These faint lines. See, it kind of looks like that, but it could be two taps. Maybe those are two different lines right there. But right here, this right here is what we're looking at. I think that's just wind. I didn't register. I didn't hear nothing. So it does sound like a little critter, like that mouse or whatever still by the recorder. Could be bugs. So keep going on. Check this. Sounds like a car. Car off in the distance. Little bird chirp right there. So it sounds like just a slight bird chirp. Keep going on, keep going on. All right, so that was it. That's about how long it takes, give or take, to go through an hour and 33 minutes of audio. And we didn't look through every single little thing that I would normally do, just to double check, because we did find something interesting that barely registered. But for the sake of the show, kind of speed through everything. It is work. It does take time. This is not something that, if anyone is doing seriously, that it's quick. You could get through most audio in a whole night, a couple hours. Spend a couple hours here and going through everything. You could do that. So that was just one. I actually have 3 more lined up. We can continue to go. It might be boring to some people, but this is real work. This is real stuff that we're doing, and I'm glad that everything's working great. I can play internal audio off the computer. You guys can watch it on the screen. I can talk to the headphone and do it at the same time. I'm only using my phone as a camera. Tricking StreamYard into being able to share files through my computer screen recorder and stuff like that. So fully beating the system, because I should have been able to do this months ago. StreamYard allows you to share files and blah blah blah. Well, they wouldn't allow me plug my computer into the the Wi-Fi with the Ether cord and everything. Still would act like it didn't have enough Wi-Fi power, bandwidth, whatever, to function properly. Which obviously is not the case if I'm still able to show you guys and just broadcast and trick it. And so yeah, so as you can see right now, we do have some hits and stuff, some loud hits. All these little dots and stuff are pretty significant. Taps could be whatever. These ones right here are pretty loud. And this is all through scrunched together too, so you can see over the space of 15 minutes we have a couple things of the space of the whole time. There's a couple instances of some loudness, but we have to zoom in so we can see it a little bit better. Let me zoom out real quick. and show you guys spectrogram. Didn't work. Oh, just give it a second. Hopefully, I was actually having problems with Audacity before the program, so hopefully it works and stuff. If not, I could always just re-download it and stuff. It'll take like 2 minutes, but basically, you know, this is what I kind of wanted to show you guys and go through. I kind of know, you know, this is maybe not the most exciting show. It might be to some people and stuff, but it's definitely something I wanted to try. I'm happy that it worked successfully. I'm gonna take a listen to see how it was on your end. So if I know, like, maybe next time it needs to be slightly louder, or maybe if I can figure out how to adjust things to make it better on your end for you guys, and we will fine tune things like we have been, and then we can show whatever and go through hoaxes and show you hoaxes, because I just encountered the guy that I exposed on here, the hoax video. If you go on the YouTube channel right now after the show and you go back a couple videos, it will be the hoax video, the latest hoax video and stuff. And that guy was in Central Florida, Bigfoot's chat, ranting and raving about the show, and just he literally just. So here's the spectrogram version. As you can see on this one, you wouldn't notice all the things that is actually captured compared to the wavelength version, where you could see there's a lot of different individual spikes that we know there's actually something going on. Whereas this one, we see that there's some major, maybe wind or something. Who knows? It happens for a while, but some major things that are clearly highlighted, meaning they're loud. But there's also stuff that it didn't pick up that we know by viewing the wavelength, there's stuff on there. And so this is kind of why, you know, you want to go look through the spectrogram, but also I like to use the wavelength. I also like to listen through every single thing, even though I've gone through everything with the headphones, just because, you know, maybe there's something that's not visible but yet you can hear. Even though it should register everything else, because it goes down to, you know, on the spectrogram, but this would be a good example of something that, you know, could be on there, but it might not be nothing, but it shows up on the one wavelength and on the other. So before we start this again, that hoaxer was on that channel, and he was just ranting and raving, and you know, I don't know if you could see me. I called him out and stuff, because I don't know if he blocked me or somehow, or just ignored me, but he claims that he has this on video. You can watch the video. You watch his video. It's his best evidence that he got here. He used to claim. Basically, he's filming off his front porch. He's filming the front of his yard, blah blah blah, across the road, and then he's on his front porch, okay, and he's you know, 50, I'm guessing, around there. He rolls on his deck, does a complete barrel roll, right, and with the camera, to move out of the way of a charging female with a baby, and he pans left, he pans to the right. He's on his front porch. You can see the cars. Looks like he lives out in the country. Doesn't appear like any Sasquatch ran up on him. But the sad fact of it is, he has a picture, and, you know, he draws eyes, and people, it's pareidolia, and people are saying, "Oh yeah, I see it." In the video that I have, and in his own original video, if you have a very keen eye, you will notice that he just takes his arm and goes like this with a blue sweater. It's literally a blue sweater, fluffy sweater. It's a very odd type of material. It's It's like a bunch of that old carpet that had a bunch of like grays and multiple blues and like flake pattern of kind of stuff. Anyways, he just goes like this in front of the camera, and it just he literally screenshotted fluff of the sweater, and people think that's a Bigfoot. And then he rolls out of the way. I'm telling you what, if I rolled on a front porch, my back would be hurt, and I'd be kind of like, oh man, oh, I'm a little messed up now. None of that. I mean, it's just you can poke holes through it all day long, and it's ridiculous. This dude, he was bragging about it in the chat, book deals, stuff like that. People believe this, and I like to call that guy out because it's ridiculously stupid. It makes us look horribly retarded, bad. It makes us just look incompetent. It makes us look like we're not capable of doing anything. When it's like people who like, who I kind of thought, knew some things, like were commenting on that picture saying it's real when it's not, and it's frustrating. So I'll call him out. I'll call the people who blatantly hoax in that regard. It's just, and many people don't know about it, and that's why it's like I'm like one of the only people. I know there's other people now, but like year or 2 years ago when I first like called him out, man, it was kind of ridiculous, and it didn't work much because he made a book deal and all this, and he's still doing it, and he's very cocky, saying he's the best in the world at getting pictures of Sasquatch and stuff like that because of pareidolia. So we're going to zoom in. We know we got some good, pretty interesting targets, so we'll try to hit up this one a little faster. I'm not going to go through all the little stuff, since you guys kind of understand, like, most of the time it's kind of nothing. But we definitely have some stuff. It's being a little touchy, but make it work. Yeah, hopefully this works. We'll talk about other things too, but I'm not afraid to call out people. I'm not playing anymore. I don't play with people. I don't play games at all. Like, a good example is recently, got into it with people, with a person, and honestly, it comes down to when I first meet you, if you rub me the wrong way, if I get some bad vibes from you, if you treat me indifferently and stuff, I think I give you a couple chances, and then it's like, this is just kind of how you are. And I can still work with you, still do stuff, and still will, and try to get along and be tolerant, and but in the back of my mind, I always remember, it's like when I first met you, you were a prick. When I first met you, you acted like this, and this, and dismissive and things. When there's Sasquatch activity going on, it's things like that I don't forget. And so, sometimes it's like, enough's enough. You don't have to be tolerant of everyone. You don't have to be nice to everyone. You don't have to be afraid to speak your opinion on how you really feel about that person. And just because me and him got into it over stupid stuff, it came into a pissing contest and then name calling, and it's like, what? Just I'm taking the gloves off. It doesn't matter because why would I not just truly express how I feel about that person if literally that's just how it is. And for people that are just like, hey, if I tell you I don't like you, you're this, and this, I think you're this, and this, and I'm being mean or an asshole, oh well, right? I don't like you. Why would I be nice to you? And then for a grown man to go screenshot that and to go tell on me to other grown men in the Bigfoot community to do what? To what? Throw shade on me and try to oh, Blake's being an asshole to me. Look how nasty he is. He's a horrible person. Oh my God, can you believe he acts like that? For what? You're gonna tell other grown men that? Like they're gonna give a shit about what your feelings are? Okay. Yeah, I'm an asshole. Yeah, I can be damn right. I will be the biggest one you've ever met. I will be the meanest. I will make you feel like you got your soul ripped out if I feel like it. Because I don't like you anymore. Why would I be nice to you? Oh my God, words hurt. If you act like words hurt when I speak to you, especially over Facebook Messenger and stuff, if people act like this, like who cares? Block me, get over it. Doesn't matter, right? Words don't hurt. Words can't hurt people. So when people get like offended by words and stuff and start saying stuff, and if they can't take the heat, they want to give a little heat, but they can't take words, really. I mean, it's not like two grown men fighting, right? It's a little different. We're just throwing some words at each other, right? For you not to be able to be mature enough to handle that in your own conversation of your inbox and be like, oh, I'm gonna screenshot and tell people. Go ahead, motherfucker. Like everyone can see the stuff. Who cares, right? If I was scared about telling you and worried about you screenshotting and telling a bunch of people, I wouldn't say it. You should see some of the stuff I post. You should see some of the stuff that I go off on. That's my opinion. It's my belief. And if I feel like I don't like what, maybe CNN or what Fox is saying, I'm going to go and speak my mind. If I have some pretty out there opinions about stuff, pretty vocal. I don't care. I don't care about, President Biden. I don't give a shit about President Trump. To me, they belong on the same boat going to Jeffrey Epstein's island because they probably both did. I don't give a shit. I'm not politically correct. It doesn't matter to me. When it comes to Bigfoot research and stuff, I mean, in the end, when people rub me the wrong way, I just don't give a F about them anymore. That's the attitude you have to have, honestly. No one affects me in my research. Like I'm telling this guy, what are you going to do? What is telling other people because I'm being mean to you? Oh, I'm being mean to you. What is that going to do? How is that going to affect me? You going to go tell other people who what? That you think have Bigfoot influence, who are what, Bigfoot famous? Who what? You work with? Who are what? Going to look down upon me? Not going to talk to me? What, gonna stop me from researching, gonna stop me from doing my shows? Like, it's ridiculous. People act like that. People, oh, well, you said this, I'm gonna blackmail you, almost, I'm gonna screenshot it, you better just cower in fear. No. Why would I do that? Why would I, if I was afraid of doing that, I wouldn't say nothing, It's the type of people that are in this community that you just, nah, I'm gonna boot stomp you. I'm gonna throw your ass in the fucking ground. I'm gonna piss on you. Like, you mean nothing, man. You're not gonna stand in my way. You're not gonna do nothing. I'll screenshot, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you every single day how much of an asshole I'm gonna be to you. It doesn't matter. I'll go lower than low will go. It doesn't matter how my interaction with you. It does not matter. I will be professional to everyone else, but as soon as you're not, and I've had enough, you know what? I can be the most unprofessional asshole you've ever met. And it doesn't matter who sees it. Because you know what? My interactions and stuff with them is on an individual basis. I'm sorry that your butthurt feelings got hurt and I don't like you. I don't really think anyone cares. So, I'm waiting for the consequences. I think I've trashed his inbox enough. I'm done with that. But it's like, really, do something, As a man to another man, what are you going to do? You can't do nothing but talk. I can't do nothing but talk. I enjoy that because the dude's getting all upset. But it's like, seriously, people get all butthurt about, this or that, or, this person would have want this, and I know this, I'm on the inside. It's like, no one gives a fuck anymore, okay? No one cares about, I'm not no one. No one cares about me. No one cares about anyone else in the research community, really. Because we're not famous, we're not celebrities. And even if we were, it doesn't matter. We all have our own lives. don't let other people affect you what you want to go out there and do. You know, don't let other people dragging you down, making you feel like crap. Nah, tell them to go F off, make them feel like crap. You know, rip their soul out of their freaking body so when they go home and lay on their bed, they're like, damn, like that dude person is straight up crazy. I don't want to mess with him. Like, he's so determined, like we take this seriously, man. You know, all these people posting pareidolia pics and then they're defending it and stuff, you know, and they're attacking you. These are fantasy role playing people who don't have lives, you know. You know, the person I literally, you know, the people in the Bigfoot community, some of these people are messed up. You know, like everyone's messed up, right? We're going a little off the cuff right now because I think it's important because hoaxers, there's people who, you know, troll, there's a bunch of different crazy people. You know, everyone has problems, everyone has a life, everyone has shit that they deal with. Everyone has shit that they deal with. But you know, you don't have to put up with other people's shit when they're throwing it on you. You don't have to put up with someone else's stuff because, you know, they're friends with that person or they're friends with them, and, you know, they might say something to that person, and that person, you know, might not go on an interview now. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't let that affect you. Don't let that stop you. You do what you want to do. You know, I that's how I feel. You know, I'm serious about this. Like, you know, I take this seriously. I try to be professional, you know, and, you know, I look around at some of the people who say, you know, I'm a researcher and stuff and do this and do that, and they go home and they're weekend warriors. They're not spending hours and hours looking at audio. They're not trying to do anything. You know, they go on home dressing up like Bret Michaels playing guitar in their backyard and stuff, trying to make music. You know, that's the guy I was getting in arguments with. I looking at his profile. Dude's dressing, trying to emulate Bret Michaels from the rock band. It's like, okay, well, this is not worth it. You know, no one in this field matters. If you really want to look into it, you know, just do what you're doing. You know, research, you know. I can't tell anyone else to research. I might think some people are just, what they're doing is completely bazonkers. But you know what? Honestly, you know, they can do whatever the hell they want. They're free to do with that, and I might not like it. It might affect us. It might make us look like stupid, but you know what? They can do that. But if you're hoaxing and, you know, you are bazonkers and stuff, you know, you're probably going to get called out on. And, you know, if you're like that, I don't think you really have much to, you know, defend and hold on to. And if you do, I don't think you have integrity. At least when I defend my stuff, I feel like, you know, I have something to stand on, something I can defend, something I can show and all that. But you know, don't worry about being liked. You know, I can be the nicest asshole you've ever met. I can be the greatest person, professional, blah blah blah, but you know what? Doesn't mean that I don't have a side that says, you know what, enough's enough. You want to run your mouth? I'm gonna run my mouth too. You want to do something else? Let's do something else. But you're not gonna do that because that's not how things are anymore. That's why people run their mouth a little bit too much. Because back in the day, you know, and men as men, you know, you had to back that up with a physical, almost fight sometimes. Because, you know, you run your mouth, but that's just how things are when it comes down to it. And, you know, people use screenshots and I'm going to be a Karen and stuff, making a big